2 दिन बाद देश का आम बजट पेश होगा और इससे पहले अमेरिकी टैरिफ और सोना चांदी के बढ़ते भाव चर्चा में है। इन मुद्दों पर क्या देश के मुख्य आर्थिक सलाहकार की क्या सोच है, हमने उनसे बातचीत की है और उनसे जाना है कि क्या कुछ इस बार के बजट में हो सकता है। देखिए इंटरव्यू का एक अंश।
How much of the role do you think it has to do with the geopolitical uncertainties? And is there a sense of urgency with which now the government is functioning?
I mean, that's a speculation that most people will engage in. But I would like to point out that some of these things have been in the works even before the geopolitical situation became more uncertain. You know, for example, the opening up of the nuclear power sector for foreign investors, private investors, opening up of the insurance sector. And on even the labor code, for example. All these things have been there well before the geopolitical situation emerged as an important consideration in our policy calculus. So I would not necessarily attribute the reform dynamism to the geopolitical situation, although doubtless it would have played its part.
So in continuation with what Maria asked, the geopolitical condition somehow made this deal of deals happen with the European Union, and that will see a positive impact on our exports over there to their 27 countries. And it took a long number of years to actually put it on ground. But coming to see, can we expect a deal of the same sort with the US so that our exporters and manufacturers who have suffered in all these months for the extra 25% tax that the US imposed on us, can we expect anything on those lines so that our exporters also benefit?
No, look, we will all be happy if a resolution is found to the high tariffs that Indians face, but I think it's not, it's beyond my sort of prerogative or ability to put a timeline to it. So in the past, I have expressed my hope that it would happen within a particular time frame, echoing the sentiments given by the Honorable Commerce Minister, but those deadlines have passed.
Will it create more jobs, the deal that we have done with the European?
Undoubtedly. Look at for example, the leather and the footwear sector, or for that matter, textiles export, all these days, gems and jewelry. In all these labor-intensive sectors, we have now much lower much lower duty access to the European markets. Of course, the agreement has to be ratified by the European Parliament. That may take 6 months to 12 months before it becomes effective. But I think the opportunities for Indian exporters, particularly in labor-intensive sectors, are the ones that were affected by the US tariff, and they do find now a good market in the European Union countries. So to that extent, this has been a really excellent compensatory.
आपके सर्वे ने लास्ट ईयर प्रेडिक्ट किया था और ये कहा था कि हमें 8 से 10 मिलियन जॉब्स अगले 10 से 15 साल तक जनरेट करना चाहिए। तो क्या हम उस ट्रैक पर हैं? How far have we able to achieve that, or there's still some gaps, and how do you aim to focus on those gaps?
In the last 2 years, I mean, when I say 23, 24 and 24, 25, we actually have created 15 million jobs as per estimation. So it's double the requirement that we spelled out in the economic survey. Of course, 25, 26 is still early days to talk about the annual job creation numbers, but job creation and export is one part of the piece. The other part of the piece is the deregulation bit, and that is what will generate economic activity, growth, and then job creation. So both are two parts of the same coin, exports and deregulation.
Yes. So you said that this is a reform express, and the Prime Minister has also focused on that. What is there for the common man this time in the budget, since you've already reformed the direct taxes and the GST structure? Is there still enough room for consumption stimulus and the tax structure to be further simplified?
No, it's a matter of another 3 more days for us to wait for the budget.
And also, my question is to the gold prices and the silver prices. Gold prices are at all-time high, 1.68 per 10 grams. Silver prices have touched another record. When do we expect them to normalize or to go back to their original levels of actual consumption, which the people are looking at in times of their needs in terms of marriage and the other valuables that they...
No, in fact, your question about gold and silver actually partially answers your earlier question about consumption stimulus, because given the holdings of gold and silver in Indian households, there is a latent wealth effect here, which we are not factoring in. People who have been having existing stock of gold and silver are going to feel wealthier compared to what they would have felt about their net worth 1 year ago.
In fact, the Indian households have touched the record, like they hold
Yeah, the household net worth would have gone up significantly in the last 2 months because of the increase in the
Also, in
balance.
relation to Maria's question, that are the geopolitical conditions only responsible for their rise, or the
Look, in the case of silver, you might point to industrial use and the potential shortages, etc. But in the case of gold, it's clearly it's a geopolitical play. It's also a play on certain lack of comfort with fiat money itself in general. You know, considering what is happening with the potential for depreciation in the US dollar, or the potential for negative real interest rates in developed countries, because they have this huge public debt and they have to bring it down, government debt, and markets are anticipating. So the gold prices are reacting to the way policy may evolve in those countries, which may keep interest rates too low, and therefore the attractiveness of holding those currencies may not exist.
right time to sell, hold, invest, to what? With
No, you're asking me to put on the hat I used to wear for previous 20 years before I came into the government. I'm not going to walk into that trap. But in general, I do feel that these are long-term trends. I don't think they are short-term trends.